All right, this is part 2 to the unboxing of my new Xtool F1 laser. And if you watched my first video, you saw that you heard my story. I kind of told you how I got started in this. Last year, bought a Wayne Lux, which was a very inexpensive way to get into this, to kind of cut my teeth and start doing some learning. And then I upgraded to an Xtool D1 non-pro 10 watt, and I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I went to YouTube University, and I have watched hundreds of hours of YouTube, and started making stuff. And so here's some stuff that I've made with my diode. This is something well, actually, I take that back. This I actually bought on Etsy. I cut this out with my diode. I bought this on Etsy and glued it together. This is charcuterie or slate, and there's a saying on here, it's a lion: if they stand behind you, protect them; if they stand beside you, respect them; if they stand against you, destroy them. I like that's kind of cool. Small cutting board, Infidel since 1776. Again, I'm public safety, so I'm really into protecting the public, a protector, sheepdog, anti-terrorism, pro-gun, pro-God, pro-country, all that right-wing stuff. I am that guy. And so I made this, and it's the Punisher logo with Infidel. That's kind of cool. And then I just put this on. I just bought this at Dollar General. In fact, I think my wife bought this at Dollar General. Just, I don't know, a couple bucks, not very expensive. It was a light white, or a lighter wood. I stained it, make it a little darker, and then I engraved this in here. This is us, our life, our story, our home. So just a couple examples. That's of my 10 watt X10, and I'll show you that for two reasons. Number one, because again, if you watched my first video, you heard that I started an Etsy store that I'm not selling a whole bunch of stuff at. So gross self-promotion here of my Etsy store and stuff that's in there, but also to show you that, I mean, if you think this is cool, let's say, if you think this is cool, a year ago, I had no idea how to do this. I had no clue. I had no clue of what is food safe and what isn't, and how to make these colors. To get it darker, all my stuff was coming light. It was blurry. I couldn't get it to fit. One of my big weaknesses is getting things to be centered. I have the hardest time making stuff centered. So a year ago, I had no idea how to do any of this stuff. And so if you are discouraged, if you're frustrated, if you're disappointed, thinking that, man, I spent all this money and I wanted to do this and I can't figure it out, it's all possible. I mean, it's cliche. You say, well, if anybody can do it, I can do it. Well, all I can say is I bought that Wayne Lux in March. I bought my Xtool D1 I think in May, and I think it came in June, so literally a year and a month ago. And I just ordered this a year later, June of last year, 1 year. I had no idea how to do any of this stuff. My little Wayne Lux was like this thing. It was just really small, and I was throwing away all kinds of stuff, and I was really discouraged. I was like, I am wasting money. Why did I do this? But I enjoyed it. In fact, I loved it. I just think it's cool. I'm not artistic. I'm not graphical. I'm technical. I'm a gadget geek. I'm a tech guy. Not graphical at all, but Etsy and Pinterest and Louisiana Hobby Guy and his libraries. I got these pictures and cool stuff, and I started putting them on pieces of wood and slate, and I just was like, man, this is so awesome. If I could ever get this down and make some money at it, this would be heaven. So that's where I'm at. So I'm sitting here. I get it that I probably will lean in and out of the picture. Like I said, I'm not a photographer either. But here is the X1 that I introduced in an unboxing just in my last video. And what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is make my business card that I have my Etsy QR code on here and just my name and phone number. I'm going to make some of these, so I just go over the F1 again. This has got a shield. I'm going to leave it up so that you guys can see it go because it's really fast. So I'm going to use my goggles. You want to protect your eyes. If you've got a laser, you will burn your eyes. So make sure you have goggles. One cool thing about this is if you want to do multiple cards like I do, is it's got this little frame that you can batch this stuff. So I can pop that in there and it will do the card. And then when it's done, I can just slide it out. I can slide another one in and it's all set and ready to go. Hit start, it can do it. And so I can do multiple ones like this and it'll be the same every time. So that's a really cool idea. I've got my vent, my air vent, this little white thing here coming out kind of to my window. And so we're going to make some stuff. But before we do, I actually got to connect this thing and turn it on. So one of the things that I've learned from YouTube, from watching other people with the F1, is to use Xtool's Creative Space. Xtool Creative Space. So this was Xtool's software, and it started out a year ago. It was called LaserBox Basic, and it was basic. I mean, there was nothing advanced about it, but it was easy. I literally, the first day, fired that up without reading the instructions, like Rich, the hobby guy, tells me to do. I started making stuff with that basic. It was incredibly easy. But then I started hearing about people using Lightburn, and this software, Lightburn, this laser or this dragon icon here, is amazing software. I mean, you can do a ton of stuff with that software, and I love it. And I went almost exclusively to Lightburn, and I've spent the last year, again, watching videos, learning. But with this F1, these same guys that I listen to have said that this Xtool Creative Space is the better way to go with the F1. And so I'm moving back to Creative Space. So Xtool just released a update to this because it didn't used to be able to do layers. And so they've done an update to this. So I updated the software, and there might be a firmware update that I have to do here also. I'm not sure, but I've got it on, I've got it up. It didn't tell me that there was any update, and like I said, here's the D1. I actually have to probably install this F1, so we'll see how it goes. So here's the grand initiation. I'm turning on my Xtool F1 for the first time. And it doesn't turn on. So, what did I do wrong? So I got it plugged in. And like I said, this is unedited. This is all happening in real time. And let's figure out what I did wrong. This is on. This green is on. I've got the key. Got the power plugged in. So why will this not turn on? Oh, maybe I need to have this closed. There's a safety function there with that. All right, well, like I said, this is unrehearsed. I am no expert, and we are live and I turned it on and it didn't turn on. So let's see here. So like I said, there's this safety key, and you've got to have that in there, which I do. It's a USB safety key. Emergency stop. Maybe that, oh, that was pushed in. Rotate to reset. Let's see if this changes something. I think I just heard it. There we go. That was it. So, like I said, this is a work in progress. You can see the Xtool light up. So this emergency stop was pushed in. Maybe it gets sent from the company that way, and so I had to flip that. There's the light, and something really cool. You'll see, it's in the manual. This thing will blink or turn a different color, and that's an indicator of something. Either it's good to go or error or whatever. But that Xtool lights up. That's very cool. So if I lift this up, now you can see my two laser beams, and this is how you focus. So do I have? Oh, so here's something that I missed. This thing is taped up here. All right, so that's something I've got to get off, is the tape in back. I didn't see that. This thing was packed amazingly well. So even on the inside here, the inside of this space, when it shipped, I didn't video it, but these pieces were fit in there to protect this thing during shipping. So I mean, they did an amazing job when they shipping this thing, packing it. So I got this tape. All right. So I got that off of there. Plug back in my vent hose. All right, so you can see those two laser beams, and as you bring these together, when they are in sync, that's how you aim or focus your laser. Now, if I would put in the thickness of the piece that I'm lasering, then the machine will actually do it automatically. Will move up and down on its own to focus that. So let's say, so I'm putting this in here, and so here again, it looks pretty in focus right there. All right, but now the thing I need to figure out is installing the F1. And I might have to actually stop the video and figure out how to do that, because I don't think it showed in the manual. It just said to plug it in, but I don't think it really showed how to install it. So let's take a look and see. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video, and I'll figure out how to get this thing installed, because there's probably a driver, and then we'll come back and keep going.